I want to thank everybody who is here today and acknowledge some of our visitors. Certainly want to acknowledge the staff of Access Living who is joining us here today, and thank you for welcoming us. I also want to thank the drivers, other drivers who are dedicated to providing services to all our residents, but have a very strong focus on our people with disability, addressing the needs of our accessible riders. I also want to thank the Taxi Driver Excellence Evaluation Committee, who worked very diligently to come up with our awardee today and to evaluate the many drivers that submitted, or drivers who were suggested for this award. I also want to thank the members of the Accessible Taxicab Committee who work with our department, who work with the city year-round and year in and year out to ensure that we are working together to improve our services for accessible transportation. So thank you all for being here today. I also want to thank Marca Bristow. She is the Executive Director of Access Living, and Commissioner Karen Tamley, our Commissioner for Mayor's Office of People with Disability. Today, we are here to celebrate not only an awards ceremony, it's an opportunity to acknowledge an individual who has dedicated day in and day out to providing service, exceptional service to residents who need an accessible vehicle, in this case, an accessible cab. Awarding a medallion is really an opportunity to provide a driver the opportunity to start a business. Having a taxi medallion is really starting a business. The value of a medallion today is nearly $70,000, and it provides the driver financial independence and allows the driver to work for him or herself. Since 2012, when the program first started, the wheelchair accessible free or awardee medallion, we've issued a total of 4. Today, our goal is to issue the 5th award, the 5th medallion. Since the mayor took office, the city has more than tripled the number of wheelchair accessible vehicles on the road. We have more than 300 accessible vehicles today, and I remember a few years back when we had about 69 wheelchair accessible vehicles. We had lots of complaints from the community about the poor or the amount of time they had to wait for an accessible cab. I believe today our average wait time is 15 minutes. We always want to work to continue to improve those times. We want to make sure that all our residents have immediate access to the transportation that they need, and that is our goal. The importance WAVEs have, or wheelchair accessible vehicles have, on our residents is that they provide, it just can't be overstated the importance that these vehicles have. They provide the community freedom to socialize, make important meetings and medical visits that they so desperately need. And like all residents, they should have access to the vehicles at any given time, at any given location, and with prompt response. Also, the great thing about our wheelchair accessible vehicles is that they're properly equipped to ensure that those that have wheelchairs can be properly and secured in the vehicles. And so with that, I want to now have our Commissioner of Mayor's Office of People with Disabilities provide some remarks.
Thank you, Commissioner Escarena. I'm Karen Tamley. I'm the Commissioner for the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank Access Living for hosting today's event. It is really my pleasure to be here today with Commissioner Escarena and the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection to award this medallion to an individual who has proven excellence in driving a wheelchair-accessible vehicle. The availability of wheelchair-accessible taxi cabs are truly key to the independence of our community, which is one of the fastest-growing segments of our community. This award is presented to someone who has made driving a wheelchair accessible taxi cab not just a career, but also a passion. Someone that is committed to serving the transportation needs of Chicago's disability community and has done so by demonstrating excellence in customer service, safety, and on-time performance. His excellent service was obvious to those of us on the evaluation committee. It wasn't just his many customers who has submitted nomination forms that in great detail described why he was deserving of this medallion, but we also saw the hard data on the thousands of trips he has done this year serving people with disabilities who use wheelchairs. Adil, I want to personally thank you for your service to Chicago's disability community and the important role you play in people's lives. You've demonstrated what a world-class accessible city looks like, and I'm confident that with this award, you will inspire others in the industry to drive a wheelchair-accessible taxi cab as a career with purpose that serves those who use wheelchairs and those with disabilities who live, work, and visit our great city. Congratulations on this well-deserved medallion, and thank you so much for your service.
And now I'd like to introduce Marka Bristow, Executive Director at Access Living. Thank you for hosting us today, Marka.
Good morning. My name is Marka Bristow, and I am the President and CEO of Access Living. First, I'd like to say we were delighted to be part of the committee that was involved in selecting you, Adil. And also, I want to acknowledge that there are members of the Accessible Taxi Advisory Committee who are here today. The effort to be able to move around our city has been one of the most significant parts of the civil rights struggle for people with disabilities. For us, the ability to ride is a core civil rights. And like all civil rights, they don't self-actualize. They require a vigilant community of people with disabilities. They require enlightened public officials, and they require partnerships with other people to help implement these important rights that we've worked so hard for. That partnership could not be more well realized than with the service that Adil has provided. Working on this type of service is something that drivers first have to voluntarily commit to. Not every driver drives an accessible vehicle. It does take a little more time, but I have to believe that understanding how significant this is for our community to be able to get from place to place with the challenges we face, make that effort more rewarding. And I want to thank you on behalf of not only Access Living, but the thousands of people who use use taxis, such as myself, to get to work, to get to meetings, to go to the airport, to make that service available. We fought really hard to get to the number of cabs that we have right now. We know that the cab industry is struggling. We also know that we are a loyal population that need this service and will continue to use taxis no matter what happens to the rest of the system. So I want to say thank you very much, Adil, and wish you all the best in your new business.
Thank you. And Mark, I apologize for demoting you. As CEO of Access Living, I've been indicating she's the executive director. I apologize for that. So as I indicated, some drivers, and as we've all indicated, some drivers dedicate their careers to serving people with disabilities, and they represent really the best in the taxi cab industry. Our winner today is a prime example of the best in the business. Adil El-Sheikh has brightened the lives of many people he has driven. And right now we're going to view a short video about the service and what some of his customers have to say about him. So if we can get the lights and start the video. It's a really short video.
For 600,000 disabled Chicagoans, these wheels represent freedom, independence, respect, and dignity. The Wheelchair Access Vehicles program, WAVE for short, has expanded to more than 300 WAVE cabs with a target of 400 WAVE cabs by 2018. Adil Al-Sheikh has been driving a WAVE cab for 10 years, and he's an example of what going above and beyond really means. It's the reason he's the winner of this year's Taxicab Driver Excellence Award and a free Taxicab Medallion.
You know, the skill for driving wheelchair, when I'm going to start, they give a class and to teach us how to treat the customer, the wheelchair. And 1 year ago or 2 years when we're driving wheelchair, there is very little amount of wheelchair. But now there is more than 300 wheelchair, and people, you know, they appreciate the job for the.
That's what I like about Adil, because he takes time with us. He knows it takes us time to get into the cab. He makes sure we are secured and tied down, and he's very patient with us. And it's very, very important because I have had 7 strokes. Each one has affected my mobility, my endurance, and my ability to get around. So the wheelchair accessible taxi does help me a whole lot.
When I came to US, American dreams. First of all, it's not easy to make, this like American dreams. It needs a lot of work. But now, after I get this medallion cab, I'm going in the right direction, yeah.
The Taxicab Driver Excellence Award is based on nominations from WAVE clients and their families. For more information, please visit www.cityofchicago.org/BACP.
So, Adil Al-Sheikh, you can stay right there. I want to thank you on behalf of the city. Here. So, Karen, can you do me the honor of just awarding the actual plaque?
Sure. It says 2016 Taxicab Driver Excellence Award presented to Adil Al-Sheikh in recognition for his commitment to improving the taxicab industry and to his tireless efforts to provide quality taxicab service to the riding public and especially to his passengers with disabilities. Awarded by the Taxi Driver Excellence Committee, City of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel Mayor, Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, Rosa Escarena, Commissioner. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And then also the medallion. This is the medallion that is then placed on a vehicle, and it allows him the ability to really start his own business. And then once he has his vehicle, he can place this, and he can keep this forever. And it'll be attached to a wheelchair accessible vehicle. And this is again the city's way to thank you for your service. And we look forward to seeing you drive your own vehicle and continue to serve Chicago's residents. Here you go. Thank you. I want to thank the advisory committee for helping us year in, year out. I think we have wonderful things coming ahead for this program. My vision is to really expand this program, because I think that when you have good customer service and when we, the city, can step in and support a community that certainly deserves it, and that we have drivers who are willing to provide the best of service, I could only see an expansion of this program as the appropriate thing to do. So I look forward to working with all of you to really do a lot more in this area. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Fine. Thank you. Congratulations.